Hey everybody, it's Norm from Tested. I'm here at DesignerCon 2016 and we stopped by this booth last year. Jack, you're like a veteran of DesignerCon, right?
6 years, baby, 6 years.
From almost in the very beginning. Yeah.
Since the beginning.
Your dioramas are so eye-catching. You take toys and put them in worlds.
I put them where they belong.
Where they belong.
Yes.
Where, in my mind, they're imaginary, but they're real, and they're in the worlds that the toys originated from.
Yeah.
So, how do you get started? What was the first thing you built?
Well, I had a bookshelf, and I had toys on it instead of books. And I had a Wizard of Oz set, which is my favorite movie, and I started just kind of building that inside the bookshelf, and I still have that. When I was 15, I made that diorama, my first diorama, and I still have it. And I just kind of kept going. I started just building more scenes inside the bookshelves. And that's how it started out. That's it.
Now the toys you work with are either 1/12 scale, is that what you usually work with?
Every scale, yeah, it doesn't matter. I just use different brushes. That's it.
Okay.
I've done, I think the smallest ones are just the Star Wars ones, and then the biggest ones are like the Batman ones and all the Black Series Star Wars ones, like the Jabba the Hutt here and stuff like that.
And you paint the toys themselves too?
I don't paint the toys unless they need to. So a lot of the stuff I will do like screen accurate kind of a paint job, or if it needs another, maybe I'll take off a hat because that scene that I'm building doesn't require the hat, or things like that. So I will customize, or maybe add a little more blood splatter or some more mud on the boots, stuff like that.
How do you choose what scenes to do? Are they just like your favorite scenes in the movies, or scenes that you wish were in the movies? Like, what inspires you for making a scene?
I try to just look at the figure first and go from there. So it depends on the accuracy. So if I see a figure and they're wearing this outfit from that scene in the movie, that's the scene that it gets.
Yeah.
And then it depends on the pose that they're in, what they're doing. Also, how iconic that movie or that scene or that show was. For example, like the Breaking Bad diorama, the figure is when he's dressed as Heisenberg, but when he's dressed as Heisenberg, you remember him in the desert. And a diorama of the desert with a blue painted sky doesn't really mean anything. So the next best thing to do was to do the RV behind him.
Right.
So, stuff like that inspires. And then I'm like, oh my God, I would love to do the whole RV and make the whole, but it's like, no. Got to keep it affordable. Got to keep it so that it fits inside a shelf. So all of that takes into account on how it gets built and the price and everything.
And it's a balance, it seems like, between like how many figures are in the piece and their proportions, and also how much of the backdrop you want, because you don't want it to take away attention from the figures themselves too.
Yeah, the figures are the main purpose of everything, and it's kind of to pay honor to that figure. It's somebody else's artwork.
Right.
Everything, the actor that played that role, the person that sculpted that action figure, the company that made the molds.
Yeah.
So to put that on a shelf, or to put it in a display case that has everything they were in, the trees they were by, or the wall that they opened, or the door that they opened when they were there in the movie, all that stuff just means everything to me.
And it becomes a collaboration.
Exactly.
You're adding your part of the story to that process, the toy world.
Right.
Now, you mentioned, Breaking Bad, the RV, the backdrops, your environments are varied.
Yeah.
Right? What do you have fun making? What kind of environments? Is it the more organic environments? Is it the broken down castles?
Yeah.
Like, what do you like sculpting?
I like the little details. I like I made a Freddy Krueger one last year, and it was a 2-foot long one, and it was a boiler room, and it lit up. The boiler room was a fire. You can open the door, and you can see skulls inside it. There was a little gas can. There was a little fire extinguisher. A fire drill maker. Little things like that. Like the Jabba the Hutt one and the Rogue One diorama that I have now. There's a little fruit bowls and little bottles and all these little things that are handmade, hand-painted, little pillows that are creased up. So all those little details are the fun stuff to me. The stuff that makes you go into the diorama and go and put your head in there and go, look, this is where it belongs. To me, it's like I like to open my toys and play with them and put them where they belong, so you can touch them and customize them and move them around and pose them. That's what it's for.
Do you study the scenes from the movies or photos to say, okay, this needs that set piece, that production designer put that there for a reason, it's going to be in the world of this diorama? Totally.
Especially like the Jabba the Hutt one, I actually got the blueprints from Lucasfilms that are available online. Yeah. And then, change them up a bit to fit this space, but always look at the pictures, look at the videos, download as many things as like the Rogue One diorama. Obviously, we're making it now before the movie's even made, so I got everything I could from the trailer.
Right.
And just any still from behind the scenes, from the making, from the trailer, anything at all. And that's what I got. So when the movie comes out, we'll see how accurate it is. We'll see what happens. I don't know.
And then what's your material? Do you kit bash? Are you pulling from the real world to modify, or is everything custom sculpted?
Everything is whatever I can find. So I carve, I handmade. It's either foam or plaster or super sculpey. A lot of times I use like the alien diorama. There's like for pipes, there's like some straws you might find in there. Anything I can find. But most of the time, everything's made from scratch.
Wow.
Yeah.
So for someone who wants to make dioramas, I imagine every kid, maker out there who buys toys wants them to inhabit the world. You've been doing this for so long. What would you recommend for someone who wants to put their toys in a diorama? How to start?
Just make one.
Just make one.
Just that's it.
Of course.
Because a lot of people come up and go, "Oh, I wish I knew, how to do what you do. I wish I could make." And it's like, just get the materials.
Yeah.
You know what? Like, just ask me. I will send you a list of everything you need, and get a styrofoam and start carving, and just start. And because that's part of the journey too. Because a lot of the times, like if I'm making like a rock thing, for example, like the Ray and BB-8 one, I don't actually specifically draw every single nook and cranny. I will start carving, and wherever that knife will take me, or wherever the grooves go, that's basically it. Or the Frankenstein diorama, if there's a brick and the brick needs to be broken and I do a crack, that's where it went.
Right.
So not everything has to be exactly, you gotta have to be organic about it too. So let loose, do your best, because there's nothing bad, nothing wrong with your best.
Yeah.
And that's it, just get to it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jack, for chatting with me.
This is great.
And thanks for sharing your amazing dioramas. It's a pleasure to see them here again.
Thank you so much, man.